Nintendo fans are one of the most passionate fan bases I've seen on the internet. It's something I've followed since I was on my first family computer and donned a cringe Mario related username. The problem is, Nintendo fans are in this awkward spot. They want to make Nintendo related content, but the company doesn't want anyone to touch their IP. So many of the companies have started to embrace mods and it's made them loads of money. Just look at the Steam Workshop. So if anyone from Nintendo is listening, please, you could be making a shitload of money from this. We just need a legal platform for the fans. Mario Kart Wii has had a huge surge in popularity recently. I think this is again partly due to Nintendo and their lack of new racetracks since Mario Kart 8's second DLC back on the Wii U in 2015, but also this is due to the rise of fan servers to play online again. Fun new characters, karts, speedrunning, and a better leaderboard system, and just crazy things that would never be seen in a Nintendo game. CTGP Revolution is the culmination of all of this. Some of my favourite things is when a modding scene comes together to make one pack that is basically a whole new game on top of a prior. Project M, another Wii mod, this time for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, takes the cake for this, being new mechanics, characters, stages and outfits, and when it was in its prime, it was just as hype as the stuff Nintendo is doing, and it's also something I believe they've took inspiration from Smash 4 to Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Melee is the pinnacle of fan-led content. The longest running professional esports scene has had no support from Nintendo over these years, only popping in a few times to get promotion for their newest titles and then bopping out again. Melee has had so many mods over the years, and to be fair to Nintendo, no other fighting game really has provided some of the tools that the community has made. Uncle Punch's training mod has helped make a new generation be able to train by themselves in their own rooms. UCF is a mod that fixed disparity in controllers to make more consistency, to use mechanics such as shield drops and again change the meta, making the game more accessible and you didn't have to have thousands of controllers to be a player at the top. And lastly, the most recent development is Slippy. It began behind the scenes as a way to get analytics and data from matches, but now it's leading the rollback revolution, a new netcode that makes this game from 2001 work better than most modern video games. And in a Smash game, it's something that's never been done before, actually having good online. And as a mod, it's so clean. Menu items look straight out of the original game, updates that you can just do in-game with your own controller, and most importantly, it just works. And I can't mention Slippy without mentioning the years of work on Dolphin and other Nintendo emulators. Honestly, I used to download a new Dolphin release like every week while I was working back on the 4.0 update. And it's amazing to see how well this emulator ran back then and then just all the features they've added over the years. It's honestly the best way to play GameCube and Wii games now. It supports high frame rates, 8K resolutions, controller mapping, save states, fan codes, and an online that works for most games. If you want to play online Double Dash, old Mario parties, or just dive into the GameCube's other unusual gems, this is the way to do it. There's many other videos related about the topic of Nintendo and emulators, especially around the time when lots of takedowns were going on, but it's clear Nintendo, when making NES and SNES libraries for the Switch, it took inspiration, such as save states, dropping in and out of games, and online emulating for local play. These are great, but when Nintendo used to provide a service such as back on the Wii days with so many more games, and now we get a tiny percentage of those, it really does push people back to the side of emulators, and especially when it's the only option to play these games. So Nintendo has been on record saying it's only projects that threaten Nintendo which are taken down. It's no surprise then, like last year, when a huge remake of Mario 64 was underway, Nintendo suppressed it by removing videos from YouTube with the download link. This was all going on while there was obviously rumours of a 3D Mario collection, and it just made people have higher expectations for Nintendo. I mean, look what the fans are doing. This game was built in a new engine, in the style of Nintendo's recent Mario Odyssey, and something fans hoped Nintendo would do. Instead, you know the story. A similar situation happened back in the 3DS days, when the long worked on fan Metroid remake AM2R got shut down just months before Nintendo announced their own remake titled Metroid Samus Returns. Pokemon's had many fan games and mods over the years. These expanded modifications to the game added whole new areas, gyms, and eventually a whole new games from start to finish. Pokemon Uranium is the most famous of these, which used assets from the 4th and 5th generation, but built an entirely new game with full gyms, side quests, as well as all the quality of life features that are sometimes missing from main games. global trade, multiple save states, and fan requests such as Mega Evolutions. It even let you play randomizers and Nuzlocke game modes, all just built into the game itself. Another one of my favourite mods back in the day was PokeMMO, a mod for Fire Red and Leaf Green. My favourite game? Being able to replay this classic with my friends literally right by me in a call and battling them along the way just like you would with a rival. It's something we always dreamed about when playing Pokemon, and it's something that's a reality thanks to fans. Right, this is Editor Louis from the future, and I totally overlooked PokeMMO. I've just been playing it constantly since I started making this video. And it's honestly the best way to play old Pokemon games right now. Playing Pokemon Black and widescreen, and playing Pokemon Emerald and Fire Red all on a cloud save. You can switch instantly between playing on your phone and then back on your PC. The online in this game compared to Sword and Shield, the most recent game on the Nintendo Switch, they've integrated so many features into being an MMO, such as breeding, trading, level caps by switching between regions, and they've also upped the difficulty as well, which makes replaying these games really good. Everything just works great. Two open world games that define their respective generation's genre. They both have huge fan bases, but also for many this was their first game. Breath of the Wild and Skyrim have a lot in common, and in terms of mods, they both very soon after release had mods already made for them. Sometimes these tend towards the more but a lot of these add cool outfits, mounts, graphic updates, and even new content and dungeons. The difference after seeing this huge rise of Skyrim mods is Bethesda capitalized on it. For me, Skyrim mods was the first time seeing a proper normalization of mods, and it's where they really hit the mainstream, and they're still even popular today years after the game's release because of these mods. Some creators even made huge expansions for Skyrim, doubling the amount of content you could play. They even added some of the most popular DLC for consoles, giving creators a cut of the money, a first prominent example of mods in the console space. Something we could only dream of Nintendo ever doing for Breath of the Wild. Even companies like Valve worked with Bethesda to make a mod adding in the Space Core from Portal 2 in the game. And this of course was to promote their new feature which they've just added to Steam. The workshop began with TF2, a way for fans to add new items and maps to the game, and later was reworked for any game, starting with the popular Skyrim. Just a year after Portal 2 came out, a full map making tool was made, so fans could create new levels for the game, and for the players it just meant we had more Portal to play. Dota 2 was the first game to add monetized content to the workshop, so creators could make money from their creations. Valve has always been at the pulse of gamers when it comes to fan-made content. Some of their biggest franchises, Dota, Counter-Strike and TF2, all came from mods of different games, and I think this humble start has led them to always embrace fan content more than any developer so far. Fan content is flourishing in some spaces. Black Mesa launched last year a remake of the original Half-Life that began a decade prior. Valve even talked to them personally. It was said it could be commercially sold. It was at the top of Steam's storefront for months. A tiny development team shows that these fan creations can be successful. Compare this to Nintendo's efforts with Mario 64, it's no wonder the game didn't feel as magical as people remember it when you don't fix small quality of life issues. Sonic Mania shows even other old Japanese companies do work with fans. It took a decade for Christian Whitehead to start from his fan projects, to official remakes on mobile, to eventually his own game with Sonic Mania. My only hope is it's something Nintendo eventually notices too. There's so many talented fans working on projects with the IPs they love and grew up with. All Nintendo needs to do is embrace the fans.